Hello everyone, Michelle here from the Creative Cove. Thanks for joining me today. So I thought we would do some fun little stamps on some scrap fabric. I've just ripped up some pieces and used some stamps, and I really love mixing elements like papers, metals, wood, and fabrics together. So in this case it is got some different type fabrics on there and a focal point. And then I also thought we could make some of these. I don't know what they call them, but they just kind of glue on the edge of the paper. And I think they had such a little charming touch to a journal. And again, just using up scrap bits and bobs. So let's get started on that. First, we'll make maybe one of these big ones. Let's see what I've got out. Let's make these first. Okay, so I have just this scrap piece of rough looking fabric. I think it's a fake linen. I don't think it's real. It's old, it's got stains on it. I think these are ink or coffee splashes from when I was dyeing stuff. So it's not like dirty, but it's grungy looking, which is kind of what I like. I like that vintage vibe. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit across, and I wanna pull it because I want that, that rough torn edge. We'll do maybe 2 or 3. I'm gonna go up this way. Let's do 2. And then I'll decide basically on the size of my journal. And if you've been following me, I'm using up these game cards, and I'll post all the other videos that I have linking this. But this is the size I like to use. And I just tape these game cards together and cover them and tape them together to make journal covers. So what you can see here, where's the other one? Maybe you can see a little better. I just love making them. Here's one that I haven't finished the inside yet. So you can see they just get cut and glued together. And then I know what size my journal is going to be. So it's nice to add these. This could be a journal card that would fit in here, no problem. So that is why I'm using up these cards. And then knowing the size of my journal or the insert or whatever you're deciding to put in, then you know what size fabric you want to use. So I'm going to cut this in half, and we'll make 2. And I'm basically just going to repeat what I had showed earlier with the dragonfly. So I'm just going to pull out some inks. What ink do I want to use? I want to use something relatively dark enough that it will show up. So where is my one ink that I like? All right, I just used it. So now I don't know where I put it. Well, we'll just use this then. Oh, here it is. Duh, right beside me. So this slate gray I quite like against this soft off-white fabric. Excuse the background. I've been very busy crafting. So I have my illegible stamp that I use just about every video. It's my favorite go-to. And I'm just going to slap this down. And then I'm going to decide on what stamp I want to use. I'm just going to grab these random ones here. Now these I just picked up at the dollar store recently. I have a class that I'll be teaching, so I thought I'd grab just a couple of extra stamps. So here's the dragonfly one, which is quite cute. There's a birdie. I'm going to do a bird. Maybe we'll do a bird this time. Let's try this guy. See how he stamps. Sometimes the dollar store stamps, you get really decent images, and then you get really not so decent images. I don't have one of those clear acrylic stamping pads yet. It's something on my list, so I'm just going to use a plastic lid here. Let's see how this goes. Now you, of course, can practice stamp it. See if it's any good. It's not too bad. It's not the nicest detail, I don't think, but we'll try one. And then I'll go to the dragonfly because I know that one stamps quite nicely. So let's see, where do we want our birdie? We'll put one here. And then we'll maybe put one. Or we can change the bird. Let's change bird. So it's not the same bird. Let's do this guy. We get a little range of birds here. a good way to use up your stamps, especially ones you're not using very often. So I didn't get a very good image of him. I don't know if I can redo it or not. I'll try. It's just a scrap piece of fabric. It's not the end of the world. All right, that works. Now we'll use the dragonfly. This one's quite nice. I find there's a nice even detail in this. And I think I'll just make him right in the middle. There. And that's it. That easy. Just put these away for a second before I forget to put the lid on my ink. Okay, so made the focal point, and now I want to cover the card, and I want to use some fun materials, whatever I've got handy. Of course, I like to use scraps because we all know we have a lot of scraps. You just constantly, even when you're using up scraps, you're creating more scraps. So I just have fun gluing stuff down, kind of like a masterboard. Using some old papers here, music paper. Whatever I can get my hands on. We recently did a video of bubble paper, so maybe we'll use some of that. It's always fun to include papers you've made yourself. Where did I put it? Had it here a second ago. Here it is. This is some bubble paper, because I like that grunge. So I'm just gonna rip it. Grunginess in there. This is fun. This will grab ink fun. So I'm all about using textures too. I really enjoy the idea of texture in my work. Wherever I can get it from, I'll use it. What else have I got here? Brown paper. And then every now and then I'll put my little dragonfly back on and see how I'm faring, if I want to add a specific color or detail. Let's chop this off. So here it's going on. I think I want a little bit more of a contrast. So there's black. Might be too high contrast for my taste. Maybe like a darker brown paper. Yeah, I like that. So let's throw this on. This is my favorite kind of crafting, where I just don't know where I'm going with my papers. And then I end up with these little projects, and it just makes me happy. I can sit here and craft away. We recently adopted a puppy, so it's nice to have a little break. They're busy. Those puppies are busy. Okay, so I like that. I think that's fun. I like the scrunch. I might add a little bit more in there. Where did I put that piece? Oh, that's not it, but that's pretty. Let's throw some of that in there. Because we can. It's kind of like a rice paper. I remember using it. Where did I put that grungy bubble paper I just tore? Here it is. So I got some of that up there. I think I'm going to put some of it in this corner here. Let's see how we like that. That works. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is maybe add some fabrics to it. So what do I have left on my desk? I've got this one. I have, this is like a rice paper, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's neat. Something like that. I have this guy. I think that's it. I think I used up all the tulle. all the thin webbing. Let's cut a little bit of this off and see if we like it. Might be a little too geometric for me. We'll see. These, I think, are just old curtains I got from the thrift shop. I don't even know where I get half my stuff anymore. Something like this. I like to kind of frame my stuff, but I don't want to cover the dragonfly. And I do want this kind of edge coming out. I like the, I love the rough cut. So maybe I'll do this instead. Put it on top. Now you can glue this if you've got good glue, but I think I'm gonna sew it. And I'm gonna do that off camera because every time I sew on camera, it's a disaster. Nothing ever works when I sew on camera. So I thought maybe we could do like some sort of ruffle or something with this. Maybe tear a couple of pieces and just sew it messy. Again, just texture. Just add a little something. Something like that, and just put a couple of stitches through it. Do it like this. I'm impressed with this piece. Doesn't seem to be doing much, does it? Maybe another piece of this instead. And the more selection you have, the more choices you have, of course. And then, but I find sometimes I have too many choices. And then I can't decide on anything. So I try not to bring out too many options. Okay, I think I'm going to go this way. I think this is a heavier piece. So it should be at the bottom. Like this. And then this goes across here. I like that. That's fun. This doesn't hide much. See if I can catch it in my sewing machine. All right, be right back. Okay, so it's all been sewn down. I just did a zigzag stitch along here and a regular straight stitch. I did decide to put this papery stuff on top of this instead. I found when I was getting close with the sewing machine, it kind of flattened everything out. So now I'm just gonna cut off the excess. I'm going to leave all the stringy bits because I kind of like them. And I might ink the edges here, maybe clean up the back of the card just a wee bit. And give the whole thing a bit of ink. These are fun little bits you can sew down as well. So let's pick an ink here. Now I did use the slate, so I might use that again. Just keep it kind of consistent, but then it might go too gray and I might want to warm it up and use some warmer ink. We'll see. So I'm just going to put a little bit on, kind of grunge it up a little more because I like that look, and I think I will add a little bit of warmth to it. So let's try this antique linen. I'm using the same one, so it gets dirty and dirtier. Like, I don't separate my inks when I use them on my papers, which makes for a very messy look. And there we go. So you can add these to a journal cover, or you can just cover the back. Let's see if I've got something to cover it with. I've got this stamp thing here. Let's cut this off. This is the packaging that some of those stamps came with. Let's use this. And let's use this piece. It's big enough, yeah. And we'll just make a little journal card. So I'm going to throw on some generous amount of glue here. just because the paper is going to sit on top of stitching, so it might not grab as easy because the stitching is raised. And I'm just going to slap that on. Let's try and we'll trim around. You can round the corners, of course, but these playing cards are really fun to use up. I'm almost done them all because they're just such a good size, and I like how rigid they are. They're handy to use. I think this is my second or third video using these cards. And what I'm going to do, I think I lost the round edge here. Just trim the edge off. There we go. And then I have this guy. He's kind of got a bit of texture on him, but I think I'd like to put some lines on him, but I don't have my stamp handy. So what can I use? Well, I guess we'll leave it blank. But I have a little, a thin line stamp, and I usually stamp that to put in a place to journal, but I have this guy too. So maybe we'll just use this. That works. That works. Okay, let's ink these up a little bit. So not quite so bright and in my face. Not big on super bright white. Sorry about my camera shaking there. I'll pick it up so it doesn't shake so bad. Still working on setting up my studio, but now with this puppy, I'll be even longer. We lost our doggie almost 2 years ago. We had her for 16 years. She was such a lovely dog, and it's been a while now, and I've always loved dogs. I've always loved having a dog, and I thought it's time. And Millie is very sweet. She's just a puppy that we got from a friend's friend who had a litter. You know how it goes. The girl gets loose, and next thing you know, so we don't know what the daddy is. The mommy is a boxer, and I've never had a boxer before, so I've been reading up on the breed quite a bit, because I think it's handy to know the breed that you're dealing with in order to know its nature, or at least what it was bred for. So those characteristics tend to come out. And so, you know, you got a retriever, well, then you know your dog likes to retrieve, generally speaking. So, but we don't know what the dad is. So I've got a vet appointment today, and I'm hoping they can tell me a little bit more about what else they think she's mixed with. But so far she's been, oh, I did that upside down. So far she has been really sweet. Still working on the potty training though. It's gonna be a while. She doesn't know her name yet either. That's how young she is. So we got work to do. Sorry, I'm just gonna hold that down for a second because I had to move it. Look at my fingers. I was just filming another video, so they're dirty. Oh, there we go. I like it. So this one's a lot grungier than the other two I did, which is kind of fun. But there we go. There's another one. This one I sewed a number on. Just having fun. I did a stamp here and then put some extra paint in, kind of put in some letters and stuff and grunged that up. But you can also, that's what this one was too, and I sewed a number on it. Let's see if we've got a ready-made tab to use. I've been making tabs. I like to have kind of things ready to use. I don't have a tab cutter, so I have to kind of trace one and cut them out. And then I just before I fold them all, I just glue papers to them. Little papers, so they're ready to go. This one's got a little number on it, little washi tape, and then I can just add them to my journal. Because I know that I have pretty consistent colors in my journaling, then I know I can just make the tab with those colors and I'll end up using them. I think I'll use this guy. It's a little blank, but I like the contrast here. And then you can glue that on, double tape it, or in my case, I think I'm going to staple it. If I can find my stapler. I just saw it a second ago. That doesn't mean anything. So I guess I will glue it. I can clean up my desk again. It gets, oh, there's my stapler. I see it now. Okay, so let's stick this on. This paper's pretty thick, so the staple might not even go through. There might not even be staples in it. But I like the metal. I like the metal showing. I think it's fun having metal. There we go. So now I have a nice little journaling card for my journal. And again, just making it all cohesive using paper that we've used and repeating those materials over and over again really uniforms the book. And as you can see, I don't sew my signatures in until the end once I know what I'm doing. And then I also like to play with putting, building things and putting them in and thinking, okay, do I want to put that in there? Then I'll go and decorate these envelopes. And I've got another bit and piece to add in as I work. Or maybe I might go, no, I decided not to put in that in there. And that's kind of how I build my journals. I have multiple personality. That's how I build my journals, just all over the map. These little snippets are really fun to do. They're basically the same as what we just did on this card, only I used little strips. So I might do a video on that too. Let me know if you're interested, or you can basically figure it out. But it's they're a lot of fun to use, and this is the same thing. It's just a cluster that I sewed to the paper, or in this case, glued to the paper. So hope that gives you some fun ideas. I hope you enjoy it, using up your scraps with stamps and whatever you have in your repertoire. Okay, guys, have a great day. Bye.